What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Arrowverse video. So, over the weekend there has been the PaleyFest, I think that's how you pronounce it, I guess, at the Dolby Theatre in America. So, this is a festival promoting all of the best TV shows. We had a Walking Dead panel, we had a This Is Us panel, and we also had a DC TV panel, which is mainly the CW shows, which is Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, and of course, The Flash. Now, I know I cover The Walking Dead on this channel, so please do drop a like if you want me to cover that as well. But this will be primarily a DC CW video. So we had all kinds of big reveals in this panel, and let's break this down because there's some very cool stuff here. So first up on the panel was the Arrow chat, and it was pretty much a love letter to the show, and Guggenheim credited Greg Berlanti for coming up with the perfect way to honour the Arrow's 100th episode, with it intersecting with the invasion storyline. So it's pretty much up to Greg Berlanti getting this thing off the ground, and the Fantastic Four, one of the comics there, was also mentioned as a kind of, I would say, homage or inspiration to how they actually did it. Now, the question of superpowers being featured on Arrow, that was brought up and pretty much shut down by Kreisberg, saying that, well, no, there will never be. So there won't be any superpowers over on Arrow, which has a kind of niche, I would say. Personally, I'd say Arrow has its own little niche in this Arrowverse. It was the first one of these shows, and really it is the most unique one in the fact that, well, it is very, very street level. It's not kind of facing off against huge meta villains like Supergirl and The Flash, and even Legends of Tomorrow, to be honest. So we're not going to be getting any of that kind of stuff going on. Now, what was very interesting was the huge bombshell on The Flash from this panel is that, well, next season on The Flash Season 4, we won't be getting a villain who is a speedster, which I personally think is a huge relief, because as much as I've loved the villains, we've had Reverse Flash, we've had Hunter Zolomon, Zoom, we've also got Savitar at the moment. Well, it's grown a bit tiresome of Barry saying he's the fastest man alive, but then the big bad of each of these seasons has been someone who is incredibly faster than him and can really take him out. And we just end up with the speedsters facing off against each other, which then becomes a bit dull in my opinion. But having a huge big bad who isn't a speedster will be a lot better. And I think that the show will evolve beyond just speedsters, and I think that Season 4 is definitely the perfect time. The question as to who could it be, who could he have as a speedster, well, that is open for debate. Okay, so the majority of Flash villains who are not actually speedsters were really the actual rogues, which would make a lot more sense, and they are the classic villains of the Flash. But really, we've actually seen most of them on the show, to be honest. And one of the biggest ones that we haven't, or one of the big ones who isn't even in the rogues, well, that is Abracadabra, and that is someone who is actually coming to the show very soon. So it would be weird to see someone take over the whole of the entire season who isn't actually a speedster, and these people have primarily been the rogues. The rogues have taken over or have been huge villains, but on the show they've only actually been kind of like a speed bump. The whole thing with Captain Cold is probably the closest we've come to having an entire season-wide villain that isn't actually a speedster. Now, interestingly, we did actually have another Flash reveal as well, was the fact that, well, the episode 19 of this season will actually be called The Once and Future Flash, with the plot being Barry time traveling to the future to find out what he needs to know about how to defeat Savitar and stop Iris's death, which is really, really interesting because, well, everyone seems to be thinking that Savitar is actually the future Flash. So could this be what Savitar means when Barry was there when Savitar was created? Was Savitar created in the future, and will Barry stop him in the future before Savitar is coming maybe back in time to stop and kill Iris? So that'd be a really interesting thought there as well. So episode 19 just looks insane, to be honest. And then obviously it's only a few episodes left towards the end of the season, and then we get our mega reveal. So I'm super excited, and well, let me know what you think in the comments of this panel, and also the fact that there's not going to be a Speedster villain, and also we've got a Barry going to the future with the once and future Flash. Madness abounds. So I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Drop that like and subscribe. Also click that little bell button so you get notifications. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.